So we got ourselves a first glimpse to look at what's yet to come in the first free content update for Payday Free. Of course, two of them being the two new heists, two of them from Payday 2, a new skill tree being Transporter, and lastly, the changes to the XP system for Payday Free. Now, there's other stuff they showed on their dev video, but I'll only go over the stuff that actually affects the gameplay as such. So we got the first two other heists, which are called Legacy, which is of course going to be Cook-Off and Murky Station, and it's going to be under the contractor lock. Of course, a returning contractor from Payday 2 and Announcer. So it's nice to see the little chap return, and I hope I'm looking forward to hear any more of his witty banters, what he has to bring to the crew in those heists, especially when you're trying to cook up some of the meth ingredients for cook-off. And speaking of cook-off, I'll go over to it first. So I could definitely see cook-off being brought back. I mean, it's of course it's obvious a fan favorite for a lot of people, but personally, it's not my favorite. I actually prefer Rats Day 1 over cook-off, just because you can just at least make good enough bags, and you don't have to wait out for an hour. Usually it takes average 30 minutes to get all the bags, at least in Rats Day 1. But of course, cook-off is different since you don't have to worry about escaping anytime soon. You can actually make a lot of myth bags as you want. And of course, once you do escape, you do get a nice, juicy payout of large amount of XP and cash. Now, I feel like it's going to be different with the system for pay free, which I'm going to go over to it a little bit later down in the video. But as we continue off with some of the stuff for cook-off, I gotta say I love the look of what they've done with the atmosphere. I still love how they still give it an awesome nighttime for both of the heists, for both, of course, cook-off and Murky Station. But of course, their layout is going to be a little more different, because these maps, they're not really remasters, but they're more like remakes, which is a completely different thing. And a lot of people just still don't know the difference between a remastered and a remake. And usually think it's the same. Which is a remastered essentially copy and paste the exact same port, but built with a much better, higher graphics, higher definition, and probably add a few little things that just improve the game overall. A remake is essentially just, you can have the exact same map, but some of the other layouts or structures will be different. And also depends on the mechanics that you bring. For example, the Zombie Chronicles for Black Ops 3 Zombies, these are more remakes than remastered, because in BO1 and BO2, you were able to, well, dolphin dive. In Black Ops 3, you can only slide. So that's a completely different mechanic, and a lot of the stuff has been removed too, like PhD Flopper for Zombie Chronicles, and got replaced by Widow's Wine. Alright, back to topic here. Now, I gotta say, it's definitely gonna play a little different now, because you no longer have that balcony behind the back door of the house. Now you have, well, you do have a scaffolding and another set of stairs, and you have to also take the consideration of different, favors now. Since in Payday 2, you can able to buy as other assets you want. You can get Doctor Bag, Ammo Bag, Throwable, a Zip Line, and a few other stuff to go with it. How will it work for Cook-Off? Since you can only bring one favor at a time per person. So, what's going to be? Would it be a zipline bag, an armor bag, or what other favors they gonna have for Cook-Off? If they're gonna add anything like that. Like the other heists, they have their own unique favors. And of course, the armor mechanics is going to be a little bit different as well. So you may not survive as long in Payday 3 cook-off as opposed to the Payday 2 cook-off because of that. And of course, as the time I'm making this video, whether or not they're already gonna improve on the whole fixing at least the text chat or the game chat. Now you can able to do to try to communicate with other players with outside of your party. It's probably gonna fuck up a lot of people's run for cook-off because they're just gonna pour it in and destroy it, destroy the meth lab. And honestly, it will be a huge waste because once you fail the heist, most people are gonna restart or you're just gonna quit out. And of course, I would definitely avoid playing pubs cook-off because people are gonna blow it up. I have a feeling they're gonna do it. And of course, other elements do change as well, such as you don't want to worry about Captain Winters, you don't want to worry about medics, since they're not in Payday 3. And now you still have to deal with naders and even the FBI fan, which I presume it will appear in Cook-Off, just on that street where the Captain Winter will be originally is. So I will see how Cook-Off plays. If it's anything like Rats Day 1, I actually be looking forward to playing that heist. Now for the second heist being Murky Station, which they actually changed the name to Turbid Station because the word murky is now relevant because the Payday gang has completely bankrupted the Murky Water PMC out of business. So whoever took that station is probably going to be, I have no idea who. I only got a little few short glimpse of the gameplay shot of Mercury Station or Turbid Station. I'll probably still call it Mercury Station, just to make it more easier, but who knows. But the only differences I see, or different change I see, was the camera drones. Well, doesn't look like they have cameras, but now they have motion sensors, just like the one in Under the Surface. And honestly, Mercury Station is not my favorite heist, or at least the stealth, but I do enjoy it, but it's not my favorite. And I think the reason they picked these two, both Cook-Off and Mercury Station, it's just because you can't easily just port it over these heists, copy and paste it into the next game when you have two different engines. And I figured they picked both of those two is because how the size of these maps are. They're really small size, so they don't have to work around with a lot of stuff or a lot of details. And these are more for a ground up to see if people are starting to like these, throwback of these legacy heists. And they're probably going to do more of that in other futures. Which I really hope to God that I hope the free heist we get in future updates is not just heists they keep porting over from Payday 2. I hope they do make some free original heists for Payday 3 as well. As much as I love to see the Big Bank or Shower Raid to be, built from the ground up for Payday 3, I do want to see some original maps as well that are free. But as for Mercury Station, I gotta see how well it's going to play out with the cell system. And honestly, I might actually prefer Turbid Station over Mercury Station. I mean, after all, I really do enjoy the core gameplay for Loud and Stealth for Payday 3, way more so than Payday 2. And no, I'm not being sarcastic here. I did invest a lot of hours into Payday 2, close to 6,000 hours. And I do enjoy the arcadey experience of what Payday 2 has, but I do like the more challenge, grittier experience of Payday the Heist and Payday 3, which I feel like they're more of a closer connection. than Payday 2 had with Payday 3. So I will see how they both turn out. Of course, they probably do have their own challenges to go with it, whether it be, completing a number of highs, probably a pay dirt as well, and other goodies. And then we're moving on to the next skill tree, being Transporter, which is, of course, a really highly requested return, which it did appear at launch, but it seemed to either forgot it or it just wasn't ready. So what Transporter does is different compared to how it was in Payday 2. Now you can be able to carry 2 bags as opposed to 1, which saves you, at least for a solo player, many trips for you to take. For example, in Golden Shark, which is one of the worst objectives moving the bags, because if you don't have the elevator asset, you have a long walk to secure a lot of these bags. But if you have the transport skill that allows you to carry 2 bags, it saves you the trips of taking less of it. So normally you have to secure 12 bags on overkill, roughly. That means you only need to take 6 trips, which is definitely a lifesaver of its own, but it can also work like a double-edged sword. And the reason I say this is because one, the infiltrator skill in that subtree, as long as you have rush and you bag up loose items, like bag up loot items, whether it be like a money bag or cocaine, jewelry, or anything else, you bag up 50% faster. But if you have the transporter skill, at least basic, where it says if you, whether it be picked up a bag or a body, you gain or you refresh rush. But the moment you throw the bag or a body, you lose rush. So that means if I would have had the transporter skill in that one skill in the infiltrator, and I try to throw a bag, while I still have rush to try and bag up the next one, much more quicker, I'll lose that rush, and I lose that 50% of able to bag up things faster.
So I was thinking, why don't we replace you with a
So I'm not really sure that's some sort of trade-off they're gonna do with it. Of course, I feel like that's the only issue I had with Transporter when it comes to, disabling rush, or you lose rush. And so whether or not that actually speeds up your process, being all about, doing the highs faster or able to save you a couple trips. So I guess there is a bit of a trade-off, but isn't a good kind of way of a good trade-off? I'm not so sure. Until we get like more profile builds or more loadouts we have with more builds we can try, I really kind of will stick to the stealth build I have, which works perfectly great. I don't have issues of pick up one bag over the other. Plus, I've been doing this for so long. Of course, this method only affects if you're bagging up a lot of bags simultaneously, whether it be in Golden Shark, Dirty Ice, No Rest for the Wicked. Although these are not like game-breaking, like nerf to the skill, or at least to rush, but it does help speed up the process just a bit faster. And another thing in the transporter skill, there's going to be, you can now have another deployable. So that means it's going to be just like Javel Trade's Ace from Payday 2. But I feel like it won't be as effective like its predecessor. You see, the 2 deployables that you can bring in Payday 2 works so excellent because you can use the doctor bag, you can use with an ammo bag, or you can use with a safe charge. That way you can blow up certain objectives, whether it be doors or safe. And if you're more about like breaching, go for the objective. You can have a saw. You can use your ammo bag for the saw. You can use C4 to blow certain stuff out of the way. So it's all really good. And as for the stealth for Payday 2, you can bring a jammer, you can bring a bag case, or you can use your trip mines with sensor mode. A lot of them work really well in Payday 2. Unfortunately, though, I don't see much room for it in Payday 3. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice that you can have an arc deployable with you. Like, if you're all about hunkering down, like, you have an armor bag and you can probably have an ammo bag. Or you can use probably a sentry gun for distraction if they allow you to use a sentry gun. But to me, I don't see much use for it for, well, Payday 3 for Loud at least, because people are going to be rocking the armor bag. And plus, the ammo economy and the health economy are not that hard to come by. And plus, they're not really the necessity you need. After all, you can get ammo from, well, ammo drops from killing enemies, along with those edge skills that actually gives you ammo pickup automatically once you kill them. And also you get ammo packs from the security room. And health, well, it's very easy to come by because you can able to get it from bathrooms and storages. You can get it from bulldozers, and you can get it from hostages when you perform trades. So they're not that really hard to come by. And also, because your armor will prioritize first the most over your health. And plus, since there's no other way for you to get, well, more armor outside of using the armor bag, people are going to rock the armor bag all the time. It's a meta thing. It's going to be a meta thing until they whether be changed to it, or at least gives you a way to give you some armor back somehow. But yeah, transport skill. I always love to be able to carry more bags than just one. And hopefully it goes really well with certain setups I have. So I'm definitely looking forward to Transporter. And then last but not least, it's the new changes to the XP system for Payday 3. Now we know how dreadful the challenge system is for this game, where the only way to level up is by completing challenges. Which to me, I'm okay, I'm fine with earning XP by challenges, but it should not be the only way to level up and by completing challenges entirely. There should be other stuff that you should get XP for, whether it be completing objectives, getting kills, completing a few heists, securing additional loot. All they really did with this change is now when you complete a heist, you get a small amount of IP, which is of course XP, but they don't give you like big amount, but just a little as you still progress through your challenges or not progressing through challenges at all. But still try to give you something for at least completing a heist, because of course when you complete the heist so many times on Overkill, you're not even getting any XP at all because it's all about challenges. And this is not a good way to actually start off your game. And to me, it's definitely an improvement, but it needs more working. It needs more tuning. It needs a complete overhaul, pretty much. Which I just don't understand why. Why that they don't want us to level up fast in the game. Here's the thing. In any game you play, people will level up fast regardless. Whether it be within takes weeks, maybe a couple days, if they, have been played non-stop. Like, people will do these sort of things because that's like one of their bucket lists or goals. So, I just don't understand why developers really dislike for players trying to level up fast if they know what they're doing. And of course, once they reach a certain max level, They either feel satisfied and they got able to use everything what the game has to offer until the developers add more stuff to the update. To me, right there, I still don't understand. Like, why? And most of the stuff we get now in Payday Free, like beyond level 100, they're just crappy cosmetics. The only thing that kind of works well is some of the chrome spray cans. Especially for the gold, it looks amazing on it. But everything else is just awful. But yet, I still play the game. I still enjoy the core gameplay. But other than that, that's gonna be my take on the update. Overall, I really am looking forward to this update. Especially we got something else to try. And at least I got something to at least to level up again, or at least try to work something towards you again. And I hope this is definitely a banger in the very first start in the right direction for this game.